Hi guys! So for today's tutorial, I am going to teach you the basics of contouring. I'm thinking of starting a series on the basics, so contouring, winged eyeliner, how to highlight, you know, brows and like foundations and things like that. So I'm thinking of starting a series like that, just showing you how to do the basics. Let me know in the comments down below if that's something that you would like to see in the future. Sorry if my voice sounds a little bit stuffy. I'm just trying to get over this cold that's been sticking around for a couple weeks. So if you want to learn how I contour, Mitzi, I'm just going to show you some of the products that I use, some of the powders that I use, and the tools that I use, and how to achieve a really blended look and not a really harsh contour. So if you would like to see how I contour on the day-to-day, I mean, I don't contour like this. Yeah, I do. We're going to start contouring our face. I'm just going to zoom you a little bit closer. Alright, so we're going to start with contouring. What I have here is just a magnetic palette, and I have my contour and my blushes in here. And these are the ones that I work with the most. So these are the Makeup Geek ones. I've got two cool toned bronzers in light and medium, and then I have a darker one that I rarely use. It's a warmer one that I use in the summertime. So usually what I do is I start using this contour powder right here. This is the medium toned cool contour and complicated. So there's several brushes that you can use to contour. I'll just show you a couple here. There are these three brushes that I contour with. Not so much this one. This one I use it more for cream contours. So there's a paddle brush, like a paddle. There's the ferrule right here is pinched, so you have this taperedness right there. So it has less of a harsh contour, and it blends it out as you're contouring. And this is the Morphe M523. And then we have just a standard goat hair flat brush. So this is the Zoeva Luxe Face Paintbrush in 109. So this one kind of gets in right there. And I really like this in the natural bristles because it is a little bit fatter, and you can fluff it upwards as you're contouring. So that's another really good brush. And then we have a buffer brush. This isn't necessarily for contouring, but before all the companies came out and made all these contour brushes, I would use just like the side of it, dip it into the powder, and just use the corner of it to define the contour. So this is like an old school technique that I would use before we came, you know, everyone came out with contour brushes. So what we're gonna do, I do contour every day, but it's a really fast process with powder contours. It's my favorite way to contour. So you got to make sure that your face is set with powder, so when you go in with the powder contour powders, it'll glide a lot smoother. It's like if your base is really sticky, the powder will just grab on to your skin. So you got to make sure that you set your face first with powder. So I'm going to show you two different ways. So I'm going to use these two brushes on each side, and I'll show you how I contour. Usually I go in with the flat Zoeva brush, and we're going to go in with the medium cool toned, You want to draw a line from the top of the ear to the corner of the mouth. So that's where your contour should be placed, right there. So you're going to take your brush and you're going to smack that right there and just work your way down. For contours, you want to use a cooler toned brown, just because it imitates shadows a lot better than a warm tone, which you would use for as a bronzer. So there you see, you can see this line right here. And when I look straight into the camera, you can see that my face on the side is a little bit more chiseled, and you never want to go past the center, the outer third of your eye. So I usually just bring it about 1.5 inches, 2 inches down from the corner of my ear. And then now I'll show you on the other side with the paddle brush. So we are going to go in with the same powder, dust off the excess, and same thing. So from the corner of the ear, top corner of the ear, and you're going just like you're going to draw a line to the corner of your mouth. And the same thing, you're going to only go as far as the outer corner of your eye. So you can see the difference on this side. The line is a little bit harsher, and on this side, it's blending out as I'm contouring. So I'm just gonna dust off the excess. I'm just going to blend that in with the rest of my makeup. I want to show you how to do a nose contour as well. I don't do this every day, but I'll just show you here anyways. So I have a light cool tone bronzer right here, or sorry, contour powder right here. So I just use a normal, just an eyeshadow brush for the nose contour, because it's a lot smaller and more precise. So I usually dip it into the lightest contour powder I have, and then I go into the Sephora Tranquil Sculpt and Contour powder, and this is just a straight up really cool tone gray. So that allows me to imitate a shadow a little bit better. So I use both those powders on the same brush, and I'm going to start in the center of my nose and start drawing that line. And once I have the outline done, then I will bring it up a little bit to towards the brow. I'm just gonna add a little contour on the side of my nose, underneath. So it looks a little bit undone right now, but I promise after we clean it up and we finish with blush and highlight, it'll look great. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of the no color powder in my glass palette right here. And we're gonna use a similar brush to the contour brush that I used but in a much stiffer and shorter bristle. This is by Morphe. This is the M458. So I'm just gonna use this powder to clean up and make the contour lines a little bit more crisp. So where we put that contour, we're just going to go right, stamp it. We're just going to go right underneath with this powder and clean that line up. So this is kind of like a baking method as well, to make your contour a little bit more prominent. We're just gonna clean up the sides of the nose contour. So we can also go down the center of the nose. I lied, this is not like what I do every single day, but I just want to show you if you really wanted to do the full contour. This is what you do. While we let that set, you can brush it off right away, but we're gonna let that set for a little bit while we move on to blush. In the winter time, I really like to use a warmer toned, deeper berry shade. So this is in Berry Amore 03 in the Milani Baked Blush. We're just gonna load up our blush brush and we're just going to focus on the back of the face. So what this does is that adds to your contour. Whereas if you bring the blush right in the center of the cheeks, it makes your cheeks a little bit more fuller and more youthful. If you keep the blush in near the back where the contour is, it further sculpts your face. I think this shade goes with a lot of fall and winter looks. It's pretty neutral, so this has been my go-to blush for the past couple weeks. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're going to dust off the bake that we have. So you can see a line right there. And it just cleans up the contour really nicely. We're just gonna do a little bit of bronzer just around the perimeter of the face, and then we're going to go with highlight. We're gonna go in with my new little Colourpop highlight. So before we go into that, I'm just gonna use the chocolate bronzer by Too Faced. And we're just going to warm up the face just a little bit with the perimeter of the face. So I got two highlight colors from Colourpop, and these are the Super Shock Cheek highlights, and one's in Churro, and I think this one was limited edition, but they brought it back. I saw it and grabbed it right away. And Flexitarian, and this one is shiny. And the best way to apply these is with your fingertips. It's a really squishy texture. It's kind of fun to do. But I'm just going to tap my ring finger into it. You can use a synthetic brush. That's what they recommend you to use for their cream products. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to dab that on our cheekbone. And this is a really pretty bronzy highlight. So if you are a little bit more light-skinned, this would be more of a bronzer highlight, maybe like a bronze topper, a blush topper for you. I can barely get away with it, but we're gonna do what we gotta do because this is super pretty. And then I'm going to top it off with Flexitarian. You gotta make sure that you close these really tight or else it dries up and then nobody's happy. Alright, so I'm just going to use my pinky finger and just go on the very tops of the cheekbone with this one. Just blend it out with the ring finger. See that highlight? Bam. Same thing on the other side. Just the very high point right there. Blend that out with the ring finger. Bam. And we're going to go down the center of the nose as well with our pinky. This one does have a little bit of glitter in it. It's not obnoxious, so I'm not mad about it. It's not where it just looks like you just got made a glittery mess on your nose. You see that? It's amazing. Just gonna blend that a little too high. Just gonna blend that a little bit on the Cupid's bow. And we're done. So I'm just gonna put some lip color on and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. This is the end look. You can see the contour, the blush, and the highlight and the bronzer goes hand in hand. So you need that contour to blend with the blush, to blend with the highlight. It's all in a really small area, so you want to make sure that you blend it really well for a complete look. I have been using the Morphe M523 brush a little bit more. I've been using it for about a week, sorry. I find it a little bit easier to work in the product and blend it out as you are contouring. But I mean, I've been using this one for years, so I really like the precise line that it gives you. And usually I blend it out. I blend out the contour with a bronzer anyway. So I contour, blend it out with a little bit of bronzer. So I mean, it's really up to you how you want to, you know, start contouring. So a couple of points to remember is that you want to use a cooler toned contour powder for your face. And especially for the nose area, you don't want two brown lines right on the side of your nose. The other thing to remember is that contouring, you're just trying to add more shadows to your face, so you're receding what you don't want to show up. So you want to basically cast a shadow on your face to make your face more structured and sculpted. That's why you want to go with a cooler toned powder so you can imitate that shadow. So another thing to remember is don't go too dark on your contour powders. I know that I'm using the medium cool tone contour powder, but I mean, winter's coming. I'm probably going to be using the lighter color pretty soon. This contour powder does show up on my skin tone. I always feel like people think the darker the better because it'll show up on the skin better. With cream contours, you can blend it out a lot easier with a beauty sponge. And you see those crazy tutorials that you see on Instagram where you just draw crazy contour lines all over your face and then boom, it's all blended. That, my friend, takes a lot of time to blend out. With powder contours, you want to start with a lighter shade and build up that color rather than to go in with a super dark shade like this one. And it's going to be really, really hard to blend out, and it'll just look like a really dark line on your face. Contouring, less is more. I know there's like a lot of steps in this look, but less is more. So I hope this tutorial helped you guys in getting started with contouring. If you want to see a video with cream contours and more like bam, really sculpted look, leave me a comment down below and let me know. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button down below, right there. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.